Today we are going to be talking about renting versus buying. Welcome back, I'm Jason Pye, and today we are going to be talking about renting versus buying. Now we're going to go through the pros and cons of buying and renting your first home in Los Angeles, and we're going to see what the best option is for you. Of course, how do you know what the best option is for you? Well, once I go through my list with you, what resonates with you? What are some of the points that you're hearing that go, that's me? Well, each item of these things are characteristics of you and your personality and how you deal with finances. So we'll get into this, we'll go through the whole thing, and hopefully something resonates with you. Renting can be a great option if you're really not looking for any long-term commitments. Let's say you're moving to a city and you just want to try it out for a year. You want to see if you like the place. That's great. It's not a long-term commitment and it's not a big investment. You need your first month's, your last month's rent, and then just rent every single month. Rent is also way more affordable. When you buy a home, you need a large down payment. Yes, there are programs out there that can get you zero money down, 5%, 10%, and so on, but most loans require about 20 to 25% down. That's a big chunk of money to be putting down into a home, and if you're not yet ready to put that money down, renting is a great option. Because if you can live in a $2 million house for $10, $15, $20,000 a month, but not have to dump $200,000 into it to live there. So there's a big benefit to that. Of course, these are bigger numbers, but renting is on a scale of $1,000 a month to $150,000 a month. And in Los Angeles, those are the kind of numbers we're really looking at. Additionally, renting is just more of a flexible option. If you really don't like the home you're living in, you don't have to worry about selling it, you don't have to worry about fixing it up, you don't have to worry about problems that happen in a home that you're renting. All you gotta do is just pack up your bags once the lease is over and move on to the next place. Really just a overall laid back approach to living. But of course, with every positive, there's always a negative. What are the downsides to renting? For one, you're not building any equity. So you won't benefit from any of the appreciation that the value of the property has. You also don't get to make any changes to the property or make any investments that could increase the value of the property. For instance, you're renting a house and you plan on being there for the next 5-10 years. That's fine, but you hate the kitchen and you want to upgrade the kitchen. You want to put new outlets in, you want to put new countertops in. If the owner allows you to do it, that's great, but you don't get any appreciation out of that, you don't get any value out of that, you don't get any benefit from spending that money. You've literally spent it just so you can enjoy those things for as long as you plan on using the home, but you don't get any return on the back end. And lastly, there's a little bit of unpredictability in renting. You can't always control your cost. A lot of landlords are just happy having consistent, great tenants. And as long as you can be that, you usually won't get hit with any increases in rent or any fees of that nature. But sometimes things just come along that force a owner to increase the rent on their property. And if you're not ready for that or you can't afford to deal with that, that might cause you to have to move more than you potentially would like to. All right, spoken about renting, let's get into the buying. What can there possibly be in terms of cons for buying a house? Well, let's get into it. The upfront costs are brutal. It's substantial amounts of money. It's not like pocket change you've got just sitting in your pocket. It's money you've been saving for potentially years to try to afford these things. And I'm not just talking about your down payment. I'm talking about down payment, closing costs, and even moving expenses. People don't think about it, but there's a huge expense that comes into play after you've moved into a new house. You actually have to furnish it. And forget about just, let's say you already have furniture, you gotta move all that furniture from one place to the next, and then you have to reinstall it, rebuild it, redo everything. You're spending hours upon hours doing this work. And there's companies out there that will actually do it for you, but again, pretty expensive. Owning a home also comes with ongoing costs, such as property taxes, maintenance, and repairs. But of course, the biggest thing is once you buy a home, that's kind of where you're locked into, unless you're easily capable of buying another home in another location if you want to, or having to go through that buy and sell process to to then be able to afford your next home. Now, that's a positive and a negative in my opinion, because buying a home and waiting out that appreciation will get you into the next level of areas you want to be. If you always wanted to live in the city but you can only afford the valley, that's okay. Buy in the valley, let that appreciate, and then hopefully get into the city. That's what appreciation is for. That's what equity is for. That's what buying real estate is all about, is helping you move up in your levels. But here are some of the positives and the biggest advantages that I see in buying real estate. The biggest advantage is honestly just being able to build equity and having the asset that you can own and have that appreciate in value over time. That's huge for me. That's a big win. But of course, there's other advantages too. Like, of course, you get the freedom to just do whatever you want to that property as long as it's within the realm of legal usage. Like, you can upgrade your kitchen, upgrade your bathroom, add a pool, whatever it is you want to do. And not only do you get to spend that money to do it, but you get that back in appreciation and in returns. So there's a massive benefit to owning that property and upgrading the home. The other great part that owning a home can come with is really stability. This is the opportunity to really have a home that is yours, that will be yours for the next 30 years or however long your mortgage is, and you have the stability of knowing what that's going to be for the next so many years. Once you confirm what your mortgage rate is going to be and your property insurance and all those things, sure, there might be some fluctuations along the way, but overall you're going to have a pretty steady path towards finally paying off that investment. So there's a huge benefit to that as well. So I guess the question is, with all of that being said, what's the best fit for you? The answer depends on your personal circumstance and goals. If you're not sure about your long-term plans or where you might want to be, renting might be the best option for you. However, if you're looking to build equity and have more stability, buying a home might be the best fit for you. Ultimately, it's on you to weigh the pros and cons of each of these options and make the decision that aligns with your financial and lifestyle goals. That's it for today's video. I hope this video was helpful and insightful, and please go ahead and give me a thumbs up and a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the page down below. And of course, if you have any questions at all, please hit me up. I would love to see you guys in the comments. For more real estate videos just like this, go ahead and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.